This is an Alpha News story. We actually, Tush and I were chatting about this 2 weeks ago, so I'm glad that they wrote the story. Go ahead and pull up the C1 there, Dawson. This is this gentleman right here. Let's see here. Thomas, what is his name?
Tom Bowman.
Tom Bowman. The man in the nice looking hat. I love that hat. Running against Angie Craig and the actually, I think Thomas Bowman is technically a carpetbagger himself, lives outside of the district, Congressional District 2, which isn't a requirement when you are running for U.S. Congress. But Thomas Bowman
Thomas Bowman, just like Angie Craig and Joe Tarab, doesn't live in CD2.
Where's Angie Craig live?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she
just
used to
DC.
live in
You're saying
she used to live in Eagan, then she went over to Prior Lake, but then she moved because of threats. Remember, she was
I remember that
intimidation.
So no one knows where she lives right now.
I heard Woodbury. I don't know, but
which is not CD2.
There's the southern portion of Woodbury that doesn't have very many houses.
Oh, so you're saying, yeah, that's funny because Woodbury actually goes out in those cornfield areas and it's growing. I don't even recognize Woodbury in many regards. Haven't lived there in like 9 years or something like that. Okay, so this is what happened. This gentleman, Thomas Bowman, was recruited by Democrat operatives. It's actually kind of funny in my estimation because it's not like this doesn't happen on the opposite side as well. But the level of transparency on this one, because the FEC filings just clearly show that this guy was supported by Democrat operatives. So they get him to run as a constitutional conservative, which will be labeled on the ballot as such. They recruit. I don't know how they recruited. Do you have any special wisdom on how they recruited him? That you can't say.
Yeah.
Secret. Should we do it in the post show?
Yeah.
Post show. Okay, post show. Leave it for the post show.
Subscribe today.
There you go. Subscribe today. Get the insider because Tushi was on this case many weeks ago. Anyhow, they get him to file for office. He's 71 years old as a constitutional conservative. Would you say he is a conservative? Like this is authentic?
Yep. Yes,
okay, so he's authentically a constitutional conservative. Over the next 10 days, Bowman, who has no history seeking elected office, received 6 max donations, which is $3,300 from out-of-state donors. Now, every single one of those donations came from Democrat operatives, and essentially what we can tell they did is they have a big network of Democrat donors who donate the max. So what is it? 3,300 times 6.
Yep.
Oh, Jake, come on, quick math. 19,180 or something like that. 19,800. 19,800. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Look at that. How about that? Is it really?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm glad. All right, so I'm really second guessing myself, but $19,800.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 18,000 plus 1,800, 19,000.
Yes,
see?
Score. You know, when you have children and they're learning math, it's good that you actually know math. So good. All right, so $19,800, and essentially that money then gets bundled into door knocking operations to pay, your door operatives.
Wow. Do you have any inside information that this was door knocking?
Oh. What, did we not know that? Or could have gone petition at like a game or something like that.
No idea how a petition.
Well, whatever. They probably hiring operatives to go get these signatures. Yeah. What is it? 1,500 signatures or 1,000?
1,000
signatures to put them on the ballot.
1,500. You They had the trifecta. However, David Hand was publicly, supported screwing over the pot party.
That's why I was thinking about it as both. But yes, obviously
did like joint press releases.
Correct.
I think a press conference or whatever, some kind of a show or something with Ken Martin, and they agreed wholeheartedly that they should crush third parties.
Correct. Yeah. So anyhow, they bundle this money and they get this guy on the ballot.
So when you say bundle the money, and you also mentioned that he got $19,800 of max donations. Just to be clear, I don't believe that he ever saw a dime of this money under his own control. I think that basically they, from what I'm just going by the FEC report, it looks like they gave this money. It's in-kind contributions.
Yes.
In other words, they probably hired the canvassers themselves.
Okay, go ahead, Dawson. Go ahead and pull up the FEC report. This is the C2. So this shows the individual contributions. Scroll down just a little bit. You can see where it says 19,800. And then you'll see the six people that gave it: George Snelling, Joe Fox, Richard Thompson, Joseph Groves, Elizabeth Steinglass, and Lynn Brody. Okay, so and it shows that they gave that amount of money. If you click on it, it will even say. Well, okay, so you see that they're actually not from Minnesota, right? Not a single one of them. Now, if you go back to the main page and then you scroll down to expenditures, so we were looking at total contributions, and then you look at where total go back one screen.
It's loading.
Yeah. Okay, scroll down now. You'll see disbursements and operating expenditures, and it just happens to be the same amount. And so what that's showing is, and then you can click on one of the names here. Yeah, I'm a little bit ahead of you. Yeah, just click on that first name, and you'll see like George Snelling. You see on the right, I'm in the way on the window. Keep going down. It'll even say in kind right there. It says description in kind. So an in kind donation gets put on both sides of the ledger as a receipt or a contribution, and then a disbursement. So, yeah, you're right. They end up just funneling this money.
It's not the first candidate in CD2 that had a large number of in-kind contributions with no real cash to be spoken.
Matt Erickson, that's
Indeed.
right. Preacher services and all.
Spiritual advisement.
Spiritual advisement. Sometimes it's amazing politics is free.
That was a brilliant operation. I wonder if if Matt had anyone who told him that he could make a report that listed hundreds of thousands of dollars of contributions, leak the numbers, have the press go with it, and then only later when the full schedule, after like another 10 days, when the schedule, if you filed the last day, it finally comes out a week later, and the press has already ran with it that he raised $200,000 or $250,000, and there's nobody understands what an in-kind contribution is anyway. So they're just like, newcomer Matt Erickson's been raised for less than a month. He's already raised $250,000. It's all like spiritual advisement and in-kind contributions of max amounts.
Tuesday, before I go to the last story, your political insights here. Do you believe that the Republicans will win CD2, and how much of an impact does this make?
I don't think there's a chance. I've said, I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that the Republicans candidate Joe Taylor will win CD2. I mean, it's John. John Kahn was the last one to win a majority in CD2 and there was redistricting also in 2022. But in 2016, Donald Trump got between 47 and 48% in the old CD2, and Jason Lewis also got between 47 and 48% in the old CD2. And the only reason that Lewis won in 2016 was that Paula Overby got 8% of the vote. Had some great campaign advisors.
Pot party candidate, right?
And independent in 2016.
Oh, independent.
But,
okay.
Had some great strategists helping her out. So got 8%.
More of that in the post show.
8% of the vote, and so that's how Lewis won. 8% taking votes. This was a transgender candidate, former Democrat State Central Committee member, that took far more votes from Angie Craig, campaigned in the most, like in Northfield and stuff like this, and took these votes. I mean, it was very strategic. And so this is exactly what Tayrab's complaining about, exactly what Alpha News wrote this article about and stuff. It's like, when somebody else does it, when the other side does it, it's brilliant. So in other words, when Paula Overby ran in 2016, got 8% of the vote, campaigned, knocked doors in Northfield as a transgender, woman, right, to knock doors in Northfield and take votes from the Democrats, from Angie, and gets 8% of the votes, so Lewis can win with 48%. It's brilliant. It's less than 48%. It's a brilliant operation. And then, when the Democrats do the same thing, some Democrats do the same exact thing. It's guerrilla warfare. This is unacceptable. It is guerrilla warfare. And I think it's a big brain move. You know what I mean? I
think the difference here, though, is they allege that Bowman did not realize he was being a patsy here, that he was being taken advantage of. We'll give you that insight on the post show. Okay. You can click on join. Right. And then you could be a subscriber to our show, and that way you'll actually get the access to what Tushi may know in some of his investigative research. Let's go last.
To finish your question, though, and I'm thinking Angie. I'm thinking what do they say? Carpet muncher over carpetbagger by 10 points. If that's allowed, if I can say that on live show.
That should have been in the post show, but whatever. Okay.
So yeah, that's the prediction here. But literally, it'll be 10 points, and Bowman probably will get 3%, something like that. But I mean, if Angie wins by 10 points, that means she will win by more than the margin of victory. Like, I don't think Bowman's votes are going to make the difference. What Bowman could have done for the Democrats is, if there was a pot party candidate or some other candidate, a third party candidate to take votes from the left, Bowman could have balanced that out by taking votes from the right. But since there is not, like I said, Trump got less than 48% in 16, less than 48% in 20. Republican candidates, the same, didn't even get a majority of votes. Now the district is slightly less Republican, ever so slightly. So I mean, it's not a Republican district. He won't win it, especially with a third party candidate.